I think,
Absolutely,
I think we're getting into another really interesting conversation here that, again, I want to continue this. I want to continue these
Absolutely.
well,
conversations.
let's do another session then.
Especially because we're getting a couple of really good messages here in the chat as well. So let's perhaps take another couple of minutes at least to address them. Antonio Carrera is making a very good point. It's a new game, trashing the platform you get for free when you could contribute instead, right? And then there's people here agreeing with that. And if you're a developer, you're using it differently than the layperson. Should be anyhow. Maybe the naming is wrong. Maybe page builders should be called page designers. Technically, you do build pages with Gutenberg. And Antonio replied, all my clients use Gutenberg to edit their content, and they love it. So this is just me personally speaking, right? I'm just one dude. And clearly, I mean, it's just the WordPress ecosystem, the WordPress people who use WordPress, there's so many out there. There's something for everybody. And I do firmly believe that Gutenberg is a valuable tool that many people use to really create valuable results, right? And that's the way it should be. And I'm glad this is happening. So if I'm criticizing it, or if I'm personally unhappy with it, that doesn't mean that I don't want to trash it. I do believe it has its place. I do believe it should continue to grow. There should be progress in it. I'm not happy with somebody saying, if you don't like it the way it is, then contribute to it, because I didn't ask for it. It's like, yes, it's free, but I don't want it. Like, me personally, the way it is right now, I've looked at it, I've compared it. I open Bricks and I'm like, dude, I like this.
And it's not for you. It's not for you.
It's not for me. That's the
thing. No,
thing.
It's for the client. It's not for you.
I have something to add to that.
Sorry?
I do have something to add to that.
Okay.
The one thing that I find incredibly painful is people with a massive reach not going into the channels where they could actually talk to the people directly, right? Because that's how you go about things in normal life. You don't go pull crap about your neighbor in the local bar. First, you go talk to the neighbor. Hey, your dog barks too loud, right?
Yeah.
And this is something we seem to have forgotten as a civilization. And I'm old. I'm from a generation that didn't see internet for the first 20x years.
Yeah.
And this is what eats me, because the other side of the story is that usually the people who are like criticizing and are passionate, everybody's passionate. So it's going to be a passionate flame war. Get your butt into Slack. Excuse my French. Go into Slack. Go into GitHub. Come to WordCamps. Come to meetups. Come to, but first address these people where not everybody sees it, because you might get your mind changed. Maybe you bring some input that people are like, oh wow, I never thought about that. We are not used to normal human interaction anymore, and that's something that
you're
really
absolutely right. And that's why I'm here. That's why we're here. That's why we're doing this, right? Like, we want to bridge these gaps. We want to look at these different things, because that's what I realized about myself. Like, I can look at Gutenberg for 5 minutes, or half an hour, or an hour, and say, this doesn't jibe with me. I don't find my way around. It doesn't work the way I expect it to work. It's confusing. I don't know. This is not. I'm going back to Bricks, because Bricks is good. I'm happy there, right? And then I go back to my bubble, and I dismiss something because for me personally it doesn't work. And up to that point, I think that's my right, and I think that's cool. And I think that, and that's like, and I don't think that's what you were saying.
No.
But then I shouldn't have to. Then I shouldn't have to go into a Slack and contribute to something that I'm not particularly interested in.
I'm not telling you have to do that. I'm just telling influencers, don't start burning people down before talking to them first. Because that to me is like
the motivation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's exactly. And again, this is what led me personally to this point, and I think Mark and Brendan as well. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. That we want to.
But that's your format, isn't it? It's all about like connecting people, and
we want to bring that back.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty open-minded. If I would let my mind change, I go to that's why I installed now FSE for me to but not FSE in the sense that I can do it with Pinegrow and I can just control everything. No, more like a user, and I'm quickly landed by microthema. But I use it also from a professional. But I'm giving it a chance, and I'm looking, and it's, I think the big word we have to take away from here, it's expectation management.
Yeah.
We come in with an expectations where I say, maybe it's not a page builder now. So maybe call it something else in your head, or look how you can use it in your workflow. And don't just, if you go there and you're frustrated, maybe it's you coming to the product and not the product to you. You can use it as it is now because it's free, as we said, and you can use it. And if you don't want to use it, you can use a theme builder. You can use a page
You can use
builder.
anything else. That's the
There are
beauty of
all these
WordPress.
different layers. You can do hand coding.
Yeah.
There, and maybe it's getting there. And then meanwhile, we have this discussion, and I'm open-minded and to revisit the whole thing and have it, over the years.
We could do an entire show about what changed your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did it get good for certain people? Yeah.
I feel like I've learned today again, like in every
I did
episode,
too.
really, except the first one where Mark and I just brought the knowledge we already had. I and like I'm seeing Gutenberg differently a little bit now, definitely for sure, and especially with Greyd, I learned a lot about like that. It seems really cool. No two ways about it. And yeah, it's that like I'm gonna admit the first time I looked at the website, obviously like everybody, I scroll down the front page and then I'm like pricing, and then I'm like, oh shit, this is expensive, but not like it's worth the price. And like I think it's at this point it should be common knowledge that pretty much every page building tool that's out there is
It's
severely
but
underpriced.
this is the difference between being, I know this sounds harsh, right? This is the difference between being a professional entrepreneur or an amateur. And I really mean that because I'm one of those that had to hold up her pants for a long time. No one is helping me. No one, when I drown, when I fall back, that's been my life for so many years. Not lately. I'm good. But this is where you start thinking about what are you doing? This is something in general. We could do an entire show about optimizing your processes into what do you do to make sure that the money is not running away in the back, because people will say like, yeah, if I do this by myself, it's free. No, it is very expensive if you do certain things by yourself. So AI is saving you money. Tools like Greyd will save you money as an agency, but you have to know where your time is going. And if you don't know that, you're never going to be larger than yourself. And it's fine. Some people don't want to grow larger than they are. But I want to have time to dive into new stuff. I want to have time to study. I study all the time into accessibility because people in accessibility never stop learning. And I wanted to be sure that if I do my stuff, I will still have enough money in the bank